Hello everyone, this is Jason from Primetime Aquatics, and I wanted to answer a question that we've been asked a number of times, and I wanted to answer it in this video, and that is, what happens when your fish tank water turns brown? Now this is especially important after you've added driftwood, and usually that's when people ask this question. They've added some driftwood, and now their fish tank water is brown. What do you do about it? Is it dangerous for your fish? Is it going to kill your fish? We're going to try to answer those questions in this video. Thanks for watching. Now, we've done videos on just cloudy water in general. And if you've got cloudy water questions, check out this video in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to put that in the description as well. That's going to answer a lot more of your questions. In this video, we are more specifically focused on what happens when your water turns brown after adding driftwood. So question number one, is it going to hurt your fish? And the answer for the most part is no. Now, we just did a video on whether or not driftwood impacts pH. I'm going to put that in the upper right hand corner as well as in the description below, and that would be a good video to watch as well. And for the most part, if you add driftwood and it turns your water brown, it probably isn't going to have a negative impact on your fish. The only exception to that is if your general hardness and your carbonate hardness, really your carbonate hardness, is very low, then it could have an impact on your pH. But overall, at least in terms of the health of your fish, that brown color that happens as a result of adding driftwood can actually be very healthy for your fish because it's releasing tannins into the water, and those tannins have been shown to have antifungal and antimicrobial properties, and it helps protect your fish. So at least in terms of overall fish health, if your water is brown because you've added driftwood, don't worry too much about it. It's actually potentially a better environment for your fish. Now, the second question, of course, is, well, now my tank is brown and I don't like the way it looks. That is a separate question. That is a separate issue. And yes, for a lot of people, they like to have crystal clear water. They like to have a tank that looks a little bit more appealing to the eye. You've added some driftwood and now your tank is brown and you don't like it. So what do? One, don't freak out about it. Again, it's just those tannins that are being released. They're not going to stay there forever. In fact, a lot of people who like what is more called that dark water look, black water look, it's actually more difficult to keep that look than you might think. If you just add driftwood to your tank and hope that it's going to stay that way, stay brown in color, it's not. As you do more water changes, that brown color is going to be reduced more and more and more. And so that brown color that you're seeing after you add driftwood, if you do your regular weekly scheduled water and tank maintenance, it's going to go away over time. So at first it's going to look really brown. You've added that driftwood, and then every week or every few days you do a water change, it's going to be less and less and less brown until at some point you really don't notice it at all anymore. So the bottom line is this. The brown color that you see after adding driftwood, those are tannins that are released into the tank. They're generally speaking healthy for your fish. And two, that brown color that you see, I know it can look so brown at times where you can barely even see the fish. As you do water changes, it's going to be reduced. Now, how do you avoid that in the first place? Well, if you boil the wood, you're going to see a lot of that brown color come out in the water. And sometimes what we'll do is we'll just take a piece of wood, put it in a pan, boil it if it's small enough to do so, dump that water out, boil it again, dump that water out, and by that point, a lot of the tannins have been removed. If you can't boil it, maybe because you just don't want to deal with that, or the piece is too big, you could stick it in a sink and soak it. Not as much tannins are going to be removed from the wood, but still it's going to be more tannins than if you just throw it right in the tank and let it release in the tank water. If it's a really big piece of wood, and you're a hardcore fish keeper, sometimes you just have to go with putting the wood in the bathtub. It's going to stay in your bathtub. Those tannins are going to stay in your bathtub. But decisions have to be made, and sometimes you just have to think about what you'd rather have, brown water in your fish tank or a brown film on your bathtub. Either way, if you want to avoid it, soak the wood or boil it before you put it in the tank, and that's going to reduce it. Again, I just wanted to answer those questions for you. Now, if you want more information, as I already mentioned, this video right here is going to show you how to deal with cloudy water in general. And then the video down here will help you determine whether or not the driftwood that you're adding is going to have an impact on your water parameters, particularly pH. If you have other fish keeping questions, leave those in the comments section below. We love to answer them in videos when we can. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.